All right, y'all. So if you watched the last video, I went out in nature. I met up with Johnny Nature, and he really showed me his own process of how to just be still and connect with nature. And then that really stirred something in me, and I sat with it for a few days, and then I can't wait to show you what came through. So I learned this thing a while back from Tony Robbins that's called RPM system. So that stands for results driven, purpose, focus. No, wait. I got it. Results, focus, purpose driven, massive action plan. So I learned this a little while back. I think he has like an audio course called Time of Your Life. And there was 7 steps in there. And I started using it, but when I started using it, there just seemed like there was a piece missing. And I think I finally got it. I went out the other day in the woods, I remember, and we met up. And just that connection, I don't know, it stirred something in me, bro. Like now, and I've been sitting with this for the past couple days, and it's here. So here, hold on, I'm gonna share this with you. Okay, so I know my handwriting is not too great, but I wanna walk you through this, because it's coming through right now. So look, so I call this the Divine 9. I know, again, it's a little sloppy, bear with me. The Divine 9. So he called it the Magnificent 7, but I realized there was a step missing in there. So in his version, he has his vision and then the intention. But every time I would do the vision, it was still like this, something that it was intangible. It was like, you know, like being the best that I can be is a great intention, and that may be the very important thing. But like, how do you know that you're actually being the best that you can be? Like, how do you have a system that you can use around that? So what I got, so you do the intention, which is that intangible thing, and then you figure out what's your purpose. So why is that intention important to you? And this is kind of in line with his system here. But then the big breakthrough that I had was then you come up with what's the tangible result that is a physical representation of the intention. Because the intention, again, it might be intangible, but the result is something like you can check it off on a box, you can measure it, like somebody else can witness it. So it's something that now you have something tangible. Now you can create a system around it. Now we can have some fun, y'all. Now you get my gears a turning. So now we're gonna have some fun. So I still wanted to include some of the other stuff in his system, but I'm gonna show you how this all ties together. So here, watch this. So you have your intention, you have your purpose, you have your result, and then the Divine 9. Remember last time, in the last video, remember we talked about the different things that you love to do, focusing on what's important. And then I think maybe at the end I talked about the life types. If you remember that, maybe go watch it if you need to. But I talked about the life types, which are basically these different characters that you play in your life. And now this is where I got stuck. Because it was like stuff was starting to come through. I was focusing on the important stuff. I was starting to figure out what these different roles I played in my life, but I just didn't know how to anchor it all down. But the Divine 9, this is, I think we've got it now. So number 4 is roles. So what are the different roles that you play in your life? So you might have one big character, you might have like 4 big characters. So like for me, as I'm kind of like working through this, I've got the creator, I've got the teacher, I've got the leader, and I've got the master. So those are kind of 4 different characters that I feel like really encompass who I am and what I'm here to do. So what I think I can do, and what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna take each one of those life types. So let's say that this is the master life type. Okay? So I'm gonna, based on this master life type, what's my ultimate intention for the master life type? What's my purpose for this intention of the master life type? What's the ultimate tangible result? What are the roles that I play? So like maybe different masks that I play, that I show up with. And then number 5 is 3 to thrive. So what are the 3 different things that I do that if I just did these things, that I would continue moving towards that intention? Number 6 is resources. So what resources, both external, like equipment, you know, money, whatever, and then internal resources, like maybe my discipline. I know I have, like, I'm pretty disciplined when I stick to something. Courage, consistency, internal resources that I can draw upon. And then number 7, now this is where things really start to tie together. What's the 1-year result? And then what's the 90-day result? So now you take this big result, which remember is a physical manifestation of the intention, and then you say, okay, let's reverse engineer that. So what does 1 year look like? And then what does 90 days look like? Now here, this next one, this is where the magic really happens. And this was a huge one for me. So remember how I talked about doing those things that you love to do? What if I created this all around me doing what I love to do? And I call that a key process. So when it comes to the master life type, for me, I love to train. So training 5 times per week is my key process. So I call that a key process. So then what I got to do is now, if I look at my key process, training 5 times, and I look at my result, how can I connect all of that? So I'm just by doing my key process, I'm moving towards my 90-day result, I'm moving towards my 1-year result, and because of that, I'm moving towards my big overall result, which is a physical representation of the intention, okay? And then lastly, because again, I like being able to like measure stuff and keep track of stuff. So number 9 is called KPI plus frequency. So that is, KPI stands for key performance indicator. So what is the key thing that you are measuring? And then how often are you going to measure it? So if I'm just kind of thinking this through here a little bit, if my key process is training 5 times per week, and then my 90-day result is, let's see, so I want to increase my Olympic lifting total. That's like a big thing that I love to do is Olympic lifting. So I want my Olympic lifting total to be 300 kilos. So, okay, so my KPI then, I'm just going to measure my total. I'm going to measure my Olympic lifting total. And I'm going to measure that every week because that's pretty common in the kind of training that I do. So I don't know, man, but this, for me, this really feels like I can do something now. Like I feel like I've got a system that I can really start to put into place. And yeah, it might not be perfect. And maybe I got to make some adjustments. And maybe even part of the structure that I create can include, like, you know, maybe going back every month or every couple months and then really making sure that these things are still in alignment with the intention. But it really feels like this is something we can work with now. So I'm excited to get going. And by the way, before I even did this, Johnny and I sat down, and because I was kind of explaining this to him, and we sat down and we kind of asked the similar questions about what about force for nature? Like, can you can use this on your personal stuff, but can you also use this kind of thing on like businesses, like business ideas, or like big projects that you might have, or even relationships that you have with other people? And so I'll just show you this briefly. We were just kind of brainstorming a little bit. And we were talking about what would that look like for force for nature if we kind of did a similar process. So we have our intention, which is a movement that inspires connection with nature, to remember the nature within ourselves. And then the purpose, so that we can create a world in which we can live in harmony with nature, ourselves, and each other. And then the tangible result, this also gives you a little bit of an example of how maybe you can put all this into place. The tangible result, so what we're really working towards in this Force for Nature movement, is 1 million people working together within networked communities to the healing of the land and creating self-regenerative ecosystems that allow us to live in harmony with nature, ourselves, and each other. Because that feels like, man, if we just did that thing, that would truly be the highest expression of this intention that we have. And then the key process, because we kind of skipped a couple steps, we were trying to do this briefly here. The key process is 1 YouTube video show every other week, which we're actually already doing that. That's the cool thing. It's not like we're having to do some extra kind of stuff outside of what we already love to do. We're just doing what we love to do, and it's moving us towards the ultimate result and the ultimate intention. And then the thing that we're going to measure, which might help out, you guys might be able to help us out on, is YouTube views measured monthly, because that's letting us know if we're heading in the right direction. Because if we continue to do this and this continues to improve, then we're gonna move closer to that. So I don't know, that just all kind of came through within the past few hours, y'all. And again, there's a lot of different factors in life, but as I was going through this, I just kept going back to that moment that I had in nature where I met Johnny, and he shared some of his experience with me and just really helped guide me back to myself through guiding me to connect with nature. So thank you for letting me share this, and I hope that you might maybe find some value in this as I have found value in this, and I can't wait to continue to implement this in my life and see where it continues to take me. Blessings, y'all.